All right. Marcus Norris. Marcus Smooth Norris. Thank you for joining me on Domestic Dad Cleaning Up the Mess.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah. So, man, the way that we got acquainted was pretty cool because we had never met before. And I saw your clothing on one of my very good friends that I work out with every morning. And I was like, I was intrigued. And I think that's the point, right? That's the point of having the clothing the way that it is, because it's like, it's kind of captivating. And you go, what is going on with this? So I looked you up on Facebook and I read your story, man. And it's remarkable. So I'm just really, really excited to have this opportunity to talk with you today. And yeah, man. So with that being said, what was childhood like for you?
Childhood for me, man, was pretty crazy. I would say. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. A lot of gangs, a lot of impoverished background.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I went through mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I want to wish it on my worst enemy. So a lot of things that I endured as a kid was kind of traumatizing, right? So when I was a kid, I played a lot of sports. I was into gymnastics. I was into baseball. I was into football, basketball, but my main sport was basketball. So a lot of times in our neighborhood, we played basketball, and the local hustlers and gang members would bet on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm playing against middle schoolers, high schoolers, even adults, whether it's through jump shots or one-on-one play or 5-on-5 play. So like I said, I seen a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
A lot. No matter if it was drive-by shootings, no matter if it was drug selling, et cetera, et cetera. So one day, living in Chicago, Illinois, like I told you, we play a lot of basketball. So on July 4th, 1997, I was shot in the head. And I asked my mom, hey, can I go to the park? A lot of people up there and they playing basketball and I would love to go. Can I go? She's like, yeah, you can go. As long as you're going with your cousins. I had older cousins, that always took me with them, because, I make some money. So I'm going, right?
Yeah.
So I go and they're like, hey, let's go. So I go. I finish my slushie. I go to the water fountain. Now it's my turn to play. All of a sudden, shots start ringing out. And I'm the only one that get hit. Now, the park is filled with a lot of different people from different gangs, people that just want to play. But I was the only one that was shot that day.
What can you unpack that experience for me? Like you were just having some water and then
yeah. So I left the water.
Did you hear like a bang or like what happened?
Yeah. So once I left the water fountain, I shot a few shots and I'm like, I put my stuff down. I'm like, yeah, it's time to play. All of a sudden the car come and then you just hear some shots that ring out. And of course you try to run, but I was the only one that was affected that day.
Wow, man. What happened right after? I mean, did you go dark or did you feel it?
You instantly go into a coma because as soon as it hit you, it's boom. You know what I mean? I wake up in the hospital and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And based on the stories that I've heard after I was shot is, local gang members who was at the park that some of them have children by some of my family members. So we all real close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those same guys was the ones that saved me, you know what I mean? And took me to the hospital at that point in time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it was really, really hard for me because I spent 37 days in the hospital trying to recover. No matter if it was my ABCs, my 1, 2, 3s, learning how to walk, talk, etc. Right. So it really like damaged me. Right. I didn't know at that time that whatever effects. So I got shot on the right side of my head. And whatever happens on the left, what happens on the right side affects the left side of your brain.
Okay.
But when I was in the hospital, I did not know that my brain was leaking fluids. No, so I got shot one way, came out another way, and I'm touching my head like, am I sweating? I'm like, I'm 7 years old, but I'm very smart. And I'm like, this can't be sweat. It's thick and mucus. So they had to staple me up. I had 100 staples in my head. Like all this stuff was just going and going. So if I didn't catch it, not the doctor, because everybody said it was sweat. If I didn't catch it, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
So they stapled me up with 100 staples and it was tough, man. So I live my life now and I'm blessed. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But also going into my childhood as well. When I was released from the hospital, the day I got out, robbers came to rob my house. So give you a little story. My dad was a drug dealer,
Okay.
And he sold a lot of drugs, had a lot of nightclubs, barbershops, et cetera, et cetera. However, guys was continuously looking for him. So I done been in probably 2 or 3 different robberies that I experienced where a gun was to my head or I seen my aunt pistol whip, getting burnt with an iron, et cetera, et cetera. But on this particular day, I'm asleep. I got the gauze from the hospital still on my head. The guys came in and said, if you don't give me this motherfucking money, I'm going to kill his ass. And I woke up to the gun pressed to my head, right? And then, so I woke up, I'm in a frantic, right? So they got us all out the bed. My mom flipped the mattress. I see all these drugs under the bed. I see all this money under the mattress.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, whoa. But I'm still in shock because like I'm still traumatized.
Well, yeah, you just came out of the hospital. You're just a 7-year-old kid who went through a massive brain trauma.
Right.
And you're trying to just balance yourself a little bit, finally get home, grateful for the life that you have at this point in time. And then this.
Yes. So my mom, she like, here, mink coat here, jewelry here. And I'm just like you're a kid. You don't know exactly what you have. Yeah, I have all the Jordans and nice expensive coats, but you don't really know what you don't know, right? So me seeing all this money, I'm like, oh shit. And you know what I mean? They laugh, but ever since that day, I've been traumatized. So after that day, my mom was like, you can go to your auntie house, whatever. So then 7 days before my birthday.
Yeah.
7, 8 days before my birthday.
Your 8th birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad, I'm calling my dad, like, I'm in the projects. My dad, like, I'm like, can you come pick me up? I don't want to be here. He like, yeah, I'm on my way. That's the last words he said to me. And he was killed by like 4 or 5 dudes.
Oh man.
Going to see a new apartment with his new girlfriend. So knowing that those was my last words with my dad, and then he didn't show up, it always did something to me. So that's what made us leave Chicago and come here. Yeah. To Waterloo, Iowa. So yeah.
When did you move? How old were you?
I was 7. Yeah. So I moved. So he got killed like August 24th. Yeah. And then by September 1st, I was here. Yeah. And I turned 8 in August 31st. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, man. That's crazy. What was your relationship like with your mom after all of that?
It brought us closer.
Yeah.
It was always close, but I feel like it brought us even more closer because I'm like, in my eyes, I'm the man now, right? Because I had to grow up fast.
It's a big step to take at 8 years old.
Yeah. And it's like, you only know what you know, but in your mind, you feel like you are the man. You know, what do I really do in order to protect not only myself and my siblings, but to kind of be the head of the household?
Yeah.
at 8 years old. So you feel like you're doing a great job by, doing whatever you have to do to protect everyone, but that's what the relationship was like as a young kid.
Yeah. So how did that how did that translate after you started going to school? And you obviously had gone through this whole trauma. You had gone through a lot of I would imagine that you went through a lot of physical therapy. What was school like after all of that?
School was very difficult.
Yeah.
Because like now I'm in special needs.
Yeah.
I never needed special needs. So all the way up from 3rd grade up until high school,
Yeah.
I'm in special needs classes. I can't do shit alone.
Yeah.
Because I need the assistance. I need the support in order for me to be great. Now that I'm older and I'm more comfortable and content with myself, I understand the process. Back then, you're kind of a shell of yourself. You're embarrassed.
I'm sure that caused a lot of frustration inside of your heart.
Yes, because you have the guys that's constantly making fun of people who are in special needs. They go to popcorn class, or they go to, but I'm still popular, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're looking at you as like you're not amongst the in crowd because you go into that small room.
Yeah.
But everybody know why I'm in a small room based on my injury. But my whole left side of my body is have slower mobility than my right side.
Yep.
And that affects me, right? So still to this day, like I can move my hand super fast on my right side and down to my toes, to the right side of my brain.
Yeah.
But on my left side, I can't do what it is that I need to do in order to have strength on both sides.
Wow.
Yes, I had therapy, but I wasn't consistent with the therapy, and that's my fault.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't take it seriously as I should. So that falls off on me.
Mm-hmm.
So all the way down to my toes, still to this day, I can't type with my left hand. My wrist is, my hand, my arm is smaller than the other side as well.
Yeah.
So I'm affected very deeply still to this day in regard to why I'm still going through the process.
Yeah. Wow, man. So, in terms of like your social life and things like that coming up as a kid, did you participate in athletics or anything like that?
Yeah. I participated in basketball. I couldn't participate in football due to the metal plate in my head.
Yeah.
It affected me, of course. I love football, but doctor said, one wrong move, you're going to be gone.
Yeah.
And I had to understand that. So no real physical combat stuff.
Yep.
I'd never be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. But you still got to play basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I played basketball. Senior year, I passed out though. I passed out in practice because I have an enlarged heart and I have a heart murmur. So I passed out and they like, no more basketball for you.
Oh, man. So one more thing taken away from you.
Yeah.
One more thing that you couldn't participate in.
Yeah.
One more thing that separated you from the herd, if you will.
Because basketball is therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Even till to this day, I can go to the court and just go shoot around and I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
These is things like if I'm battling something mentally, I'm like going to the court.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be really hard growing up and having to go through that. Talk to me about what happened later on in life. Like, bring me up to speed.
Yeah. So, although I had the falling out in regard to falling out in practice in my senior year, I was still able to get basketball scholarships to some small D3 schools. Like
Okay.
William Penn.
Yep.
They was able to offer me a scholarship. I didn't go though. So I didn't go because in my mind, I have to be there for my mom. I have to be there for my siblings. Why would I be selfish and take this opportunity to go somewhere when I know they need me? Right? So I couldn't take on my journey like I wanted to due to the circumstances that I'm a part of right now, right? We also have to remember this part too. When I was in 7th, 8th grade, my mom had my younger sister.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of back issues, right?
For your mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
It caused a lot of back issues for her. So she could not work like she needed to. How she provided, I have no clue still to this day. I'm really like, how did she do it?
Yeah.
But she showed me and exemplified what it actually means to be a strong mom.
Yeah. Work ethic.
And I'm always going to be appreciative for that.
Yeah.
Right. So
I had one of those too.
So I was like, senior year, also I started doing what I felt like I knew based on my family and my friends. And, I'm like, I'm going to sell some drugs. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Time to make some money, man. And I was making a killing. And then my cousin seen a shoebox full of money. And he said, this how you be getting all these shoes? All these clothes and jerseys and stuff? And I said, oh, shit. He fucking looking up to me.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Remember, his dad was one of the ones that picked me up off the ground as well. And he was in the streets. So I'm like, fuck. I can't do this, man.
Yeah. You don't want to be the bad example.
Oh, hell no.
You don't want to lead him into that life. Yeah.
So in my mind, I said, I have to make a change. So I was working at Tyson at the time as well. Mm-hmm. And I was helping paying all the bills, making sure my sisters had school clothes, school shoes, et cetera, et cetera. So remember I told you, I felt like I'm the man. So I have to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
My mom pulled me to the side and said, hey, I remember what I told you before this year, but I need you to go to school. I said, but I thought you said you needed me to help around the house. This is the reason why you didn't want me to go in the first place, remember? Yeah, but I don't want that on my conscience. So I want you to do better and make better for yourself. So before I end up going to college, I end up getting baptized.
So what brought you to that? Can I ask? Because that's a wonderful thing, man. That's a huge moment in a man's life when he decides that he is ready to be baptized, to start living a Christian life. Oh, I'm so interested in that.
So for me, it was like the aspect of knowing like my conscience. I cannot live with this on my conscience. Like I always tell people when I listen to Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z said, I often crack the OPM in third person. I don't want to see him because he knows what he's doing to the community, right? Yeah. So in his eyes, he like, I know I'm doing bad, but shit. Selfishly, I need this money for not only myself, but my family as well. So why would I stop? But why would I continue to do it if I know this is going to be bad? So I told myself I would never sell another drug again. I don't care how much hard times I'm going to be a part of. I don't care what's going on in my darkest moments. I know I'm going to get out of it some way. So I have to stop right now. And then when I went and got baptized, I feel like everything was lifted off my shoulders. Doesn't mean I didn't have bad times. Didn't mean I wasn't struggling, picking up change out of my change jar and like, fuck it, I need to eat noodles or something.
Dollar menu at McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
So
the McChicken.
Like, but it made me appreciate what I did do because I didn't want to continue that path. So getting baptized was everything to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Where did you get baptized?
Mount Carmel.
Nice. Yeah.
Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
So that helped me tremendously in regard to my growth and in regard to my separation of who I am. You know what I mean? Of course, you can look at things and be like, I know I'm different. I know I'm not like everybody, but you don't know it until you know it. You know, we all feel like we all alike.
Yeah. We're all human.
We're not alike. We have similarities, but we're not alike. So I have to kind of like grow to build that I'm comfortable with being me and not looking at everybody else and say, I need to be like them because they're getting attention or they're getting certain things that I want as well. So
Yeah.
had to learn to develop that.
Yeah. In what ways did you do that?
Just by just looking in the mirror and just saying, like, am I comfortable with myself? Because, like, just like we was talking off air in regard to your journey,
Yeah.
is how do you really know that it's okay to be okay or not to be okay?
Yeah.
But the only person knows this is yourself. And until you be honest enough with yourself, you're going to constantly exude certain behaviors because you're trying to ignore them. You cannot walk away from things that you know that you are being affected by.
Yeah.
You ignore it, it's just going to keep amplifying until you say, I need to get better with this.
Yeah, there was a I've got a teenage son. You met him inside, and there was and I'm not just making there's a point in your life, and it took me the better part of 30 years, probably even longer than that, to do this, but I had to get to a point in my life where I liked myself again.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Instead of trying to figure out, how to blend in with everybody else, I had to figure out how to like myself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a pivotal point in a man's life. And you hope for your kids to be able to do that. You know what I mean? You hope for your friends to be able to do that. You hope for everybody to be able to like themselves, because once you like yourself, you can become your authentic self. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, the right people start to come into your life. Yes, sir. And we'll probably get into that in a little bit. But like at the end of the day, man, you really do. If I could write a parenting book at some point in time, that would be a big chapter in it, because there's so many pitfalls in a man's life while he's trying to be like other men. At the end of the day, some of my best advice would always be to figure out who you are and like that person first, and then the right people will come into your life.
For sure. But that's why I feel like I appreciate those pitfalls, though.
Yes.
We only know what we know based on what we see, right?
Yeah.
So in your minds, daddy always worked. Daddy always provide. But who's checking on dad's emotional right. traumas? Who's checking on to see if daddy is happy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we're not understanding what we're observing, what we're hearing, what we're listening to, we just grow to accept that this is okay, right? But you don't know you're not okay until you start getting in other circles and be like, wait a minute. When I'm with this, I feel like this. But when I'm over here, it feels so much better. So I want to constantly grow in this capacity.
Yeah.
Because let's say you had a family, like, based on your family structure, you like, it's okay for my kid to drink Kool-Aid in the morning time. It's okay for my kid to eat fruit snacks, hot Cheetos, whatever. It's perfectly fine. You get a little educated. You start to be around different circles. You start to research. You try to gain more knowledge. So you say, I need to get better. This is not healthy. This is not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Red Kool-Aid in the morning is bad. It's bad for you. You're gonna run into a sugar crash around 10 o'clock, and whoever's a part of that kid's day at that point in time is gonna have a bad day because your kid's having an absolute sugar crash.
So the thing I love is just, giving ourselves grace and understand, like, we only know what we know based on our environments, right?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah, that is. All right. So after you got right with yourself, what happened next?
I ended up going to Kirkwood Community College.
Yeah.
I didn't know, to be honest with you, I didn't know what college was about. I just knew I just needed to escape and try something new. I know what life I come from, but I know that's not where I wanted to end up. Yep. Right? I didn't want to be a factory worker all my life, and there's nothing against people who like doing factory stuff. I just know for myself, I have a lot of creativeness within me, and I don't want to just do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I say I'm gonna go to Kirkwood with some of my friends, and I feel like it was the best decision for me at the time. I struggled because remember, I'm from I was taking all these being all these special needs kind of things, and they were supporting me and helping me along the way. So I struggled my first year in school. But after that first year, during finals week, my mom, somebody had called me and said, you need to get back home. For what?
Yeah.
It's finals week. I can't afford to not take my finals, man. I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
They're like, you need to get home now. And it was very stern. It was very like, you know what I mean? ASAP. You need to come home right now. And I'm like, okay. They drove me to the hospital, and come to find out, my mom was in hospice, and she's basically on her last breath, basically. And she said, hey, and you know, she's gasping kind of air, and she's like, what I want you to do is, you know, promise me you're going to take care of your sisters. And I said, I will. And then I walked out of the room, and I remember to this day, I'm listening to Running My Mama Crazy by Plies. I go downstairs, I'm start coughing up blood, and I'm getting super emotional. I'm like this is about to be the last moment I have. I got myself back together. I walk back up to the hospital room, and she was gone. You know, my mom had over 30 plus surgeries. I never knew she had cancer.
That was one of the questions that was in the front of my mind just now. At what point did you?
I never knew. She was so strong, she didn't want to even tell me. She didn't ever want to even tell me. I'm the oldest.
She didn't want to ask for help.
And didn't want to ask for help. But she had like nurses that came to the house. And like that was her workers, but she also had like family support and friends that helped support as well. So we used to always give her range of motions, do the catheter work. So I'm gonna give a huge shout out to my sister Ashley, because my sister Ashley was the one that was really taking care of her.
Yeah.
And to this day, my sister still does that type of work.
Yeah.
You know, so I love you, sis. You know, she did a great job. You know, shout out to my other sister, Marianne, too. But I never knew, my sister never knew, but the nurses and the family friends probably knew that she was suffering from bone cancer.
Oh, wow.
You know,
I think that's one of the worst ones, too, as far as like pain.
Yeah. So she was wheelchair bound since 8th grade, 8th grade. You know, so it was really tough in regard to, I don't have anybody that go to the games, and, you know, I don't have anybody that's, you know, she tried her best to try to do for what she could. She been to the Contarian. I was in the Contarian when I was in high school, things of that nature. But it was so much work to do to get her out the house. If she could, she would. But some days she just wasn't up for it, you know?
Yep.
So my mom ended up passing away, and I was dark. When I say dark, I was dark. Like I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
This is my best friend. Best friend.
Wow. That's your lifeline that you came into this world with, that got you through childhood traumas that most people only have nightmares about. She lived through it with you. She took care of you in those moments. Mm-hmm. You know, she was your rock, man. Yeah.
So it was like when I went back to school immediately. So we had the funeral.
Yeah.
We got her cremated. So her urn sits in my house to this day. We got her cremated or whatever. I go back to school. As you know, I failed again, failing. I'm not sleeping. I think I'm suffering from sleep paralysis or something. I cannot sleep. I can't do anything. When I tell you I wanted to kill myself, I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
It did not feel good. Who do I have? Like, I don't have a parent. I have my auntie. Shout out to my auntie Stephanie and my grannies. But it's nothing like a mom.
No.
There's nothing like a mom or a dad. And I have neither. So I'm struggling. So the Kirkwood journey, I didn't really accomplish anything because I'm constantly failing. I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
And then I come back home. And then I continue my journey of understanding who I am and what I feel like my purpose is.
Yeah.
And that's where my next life started.
Yeah.
In regard to the brand.
Let's go.
So
do you remember what year was that?
2010.
Okay. So you've been in this for the better part of 14 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm constantly just going to the drawing board. Like, how you say is we're constantly trying to think about like what, because nobody's doing it at this time. No t-shirts, no nothing.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know I'm going to flip this. Like,
what inspired, like, what was it that, like, so you took pieces of your own journey and you wanted to say, hey guys, I made it through this. Mm-hmm. And I want you to be able to make it through it too, even though it's dark, even though it's hard. Mm-hmm. I want to be somebody who stands up in this community and says, you can still do something with your life.
Mm-hmm. So for me, how I looked at it was, 2013, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just try. Because everybody was telling me like, man, that's stupid. Why would you even want to sell? Ain't nobody going to buy your t-shirt just because you got shot in the head, dude. Like, nobody's going, like, who don't not have a parent in the day? And I'm like, for years, I'm constantly hearing this negative. I was like, I'm just going to try, man. So I tried.
You got convicted.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go for it.
I'm just going to try. What's the worst that can happen? So
there is no victory in I should have.
So I said, what should I call it? Because the whole time I'm thinking about how, like, in our community, how we're kind of like played in regard to wanting to chase our dreams and our aspirations. What do we usually have? Excuses. What to give me every reason why I shouldn't do the clothing brand. So if I give you a reality check, and it's all tied to not just me, but it's tied to all of us, you're going to be like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's my part of my story too. I might not know your story, but I know for a fact you feel the same way I feel. It's just, I know myself enough to be transparent to say, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to give myself a reality check. So once I'm like, reality check. But if it's a movement, then I know it's not just me helping you. Maybe Nick got resources. Maybe this guy got resources, or this girl got resources. Now we're a movement because we all trying to chase a dream or a goal that supersedes what we see right in front of our face. So if we can kind of help each other, give each other information in order to be successful, I feel like we can push each other to new heights.
Yeah.
Because all I want to do is inspire. All I want to do is help you see something that nobody's seen in me years ago.
Yeah.
So if I can be that inspiration or motivation, why not share that with you? Because I know it's some idea you have. I know it's a trauma that you're dealing with that you just haven't healed from. Because if we're not healing, some of these dreams or aspirations just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And for years, I have to tell myself, my trauma. I think that's my trauma kicking in. I don't want to fucking do nothing with Nick. Oh, hell no. I don't want to do nothing with Sarah. She's trying to play me.
Yeah.
That's my trauma talking. So that's where the healing started coming from as well. So that's where the brand originally started from, is just saying I want to be an inspiration, motivation, that I'm doing the work just like you should be doing the work. I'm in college. Look, I can't type, y'all. But I just graduated. Look at me. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad that I'm accomplishing something you're not. But whatever your mind is set on that you want to accomplish, look, I got every reason in the world to give up. I don't have any parents. I'm making mistakes as I go as well, but I want you to be successful. Look at me. Mm-hmm. Try something. So I was able to get my bachelor's. I was able to get my master's degree in Legion Youth and Human Services because I love kids. Remember, all this stuff still catapulting, not just helping adults, but the kids. Mm-hmm. Kids give me so much, like it brings something, like it makes me smile every day knowing that I'm appreciated and wanted, needed, So that's where the brand came from.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, that was the thing that really drew me into your story, was that you were an innovator in a space that I was existing in. And I was like, this guy he's been in it. Like, he's already making motivational clothing. He's already trying to help nonprofits. He's already saying, hey, what can I do to help in this community? What can I do to break the stigma around people reaching out for help when they're in need, right? And as part of the Domestic Dad Project, what we do here is we try to empower dads, no matter what struggle they're going through, whether it's mental health, whether it's addiction, whether it's just, they've been in the pit for a while, right? Been dark for a while. And I just thought, like, man, this is a great opportunity to connect with a guy who's been doing this for a long time. And to hear that you've been in it for 14 years, man, that is incredible. It really is. So thank you for what you're doing, because you're a trailblazer, man. You really are. So I just wanted to make your brand known, because I think that it can help people.
Appreciate
and
that.
People helping people. We got to support that type of a community.
For sure, man. So for me, man, it's very, like, heartwarming to know that I get a lot of support, but I try to pour in what I give out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, how we was talking off air, and I don't always need money for certain things that I'm going to do, because I know it's going to come back in full circle.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times I get asked, hey, can you come speak to the kids, or can you come speak to this nonprofit?
Yeah.
And inspire them to do X, Y, and Z? Oh, sure. When you need me, I'll be there whenever you need me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. I'm not chasing money. And the reason why I'm not chasing money, everything else comes full circle for me.
Yeah.
It comes in abundance in regard to what I feel like God has in store for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything for attention. I'm not doing anything to be like, well, look at me, guys. No, I'm doing it because this is my purpose. This is my why. This is the reason why I want to be an advocate for change.
Yeah.
If I can spark a mind, they can spark the next mind. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't see the impact immediately. Sometimes you may not see it for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
It's kids that I have helped when they was in second grade. Now they're in high school. Hey, I remember you were saying da-da-da-da-da. And that's what it's all about.
Planting seeds.
Yes. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
Man. So I love that aspect, man. So I just want us to keep growing and keep trying to be better than we was yesterday.
There is no greater fulfillment for me. I had a guy reach out to me the other day from Indiana, and he was like, hey, man, I'm 4 days sober, and I've been listening to your podcast, and it's really been saving me. And I was like, that right there is that's why I started this. You know what I mean? And it's those moments right there that I'm hoping for at some point in time. Like, I'm sure that somebody has bought something from you, and they told you, hey, this has changed the direction of my heart to a certain degree. This has helped me. Right. And I think that's what it's all about. Is it's about creating a community through clothing. It's about creating a community through just talking through stuff that you've been through, so other people can say, it's like me, and they can see that Marcus got through it, so I can get through it. There's a great pastor in town. His name's Pastor Q. And I was listening to one of his sermons. I think it was a couple weeks ago, but he said, if God brings you to it, he's going to bring you through it. If he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. And it's because of people like yourself that provide inspiration for people to get through things.
Yeah, man. And I think that's what helps, man. Because like you said, even with your story, it's, if Nick didn't grow to understand who he was and be honest about it, how can I help other people? Some of my darkest moments are the things I showcase, but I'm comfortable in my skin enough to express that to the world.
Because you like yourself.
Because I like myself, right? But it's also the reason why the community keeps growing and keep building is through our transparency. If Nick didn't express his most vulnerable moments, how can I have some type of dignity in regard to Nick's brand, right?
Yeah.
So people grow to respect your brand, your journey, knowing you're not perfect, but you're just getting better with time.
Yeah.
So that makes people gravitate to you a little bit more and say, you know what? His dignity, his integrity in regard to what he's trying to do, knowing he's honest about it, makes me want to buy into what he's have going on.
Yeah.
You are what you speak about. Right. So
Yep.
that's the things that, keeps me pumped, keep me with joy to know that we're trying,
Yeah. So I have a couple other questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you become a father?
I became a father 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the most beautiful moment in the world, man. So when she told me, she was pregnant, for one, I was scared. I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
the hell? What the freak am I about to do with a kid? So we get we find out. I can remember like it was yesterday. She had told me she thinks she's pregnant. She took the test, and I'm like, man, shut up. You're not pregnant, man. Stop it. I don't want to hear that. She took like 3 tests, and I'm like, man, we going to the doctor. I'm not about to forget that little test stuff. And we got the call from the doctor, and like, yeah, it's true. She's pregnant. We went to after that, we went to get the, know the gender of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think I almost hurt the baby because I was just that excited to know, one, she was having a baby. It was going to be healthy, but it was a boy. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm about to be a father. And it's like, man, it just did so much joy to me to know like the trail that I'm trying to create for not only myself, I know it's going to pay off for my son. So
yeah,
being a father is probably one of the best feelings in the world, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Just knowing that we're both teaching each other.
Oh.
So a lot of times in life, man, you're the dad, man. What are you teaching them? What can you show them that he didn't know? It's like, well, he's teaching me something too.
Yeah.
Things that I think I have figured all the way out. My son's like, he's not saying it verbally, but you need to learn some more patience. You need to show a little bit more compassion. You need to give a little bit more grace.
Oh.
So
speak my language,
man. So it's like knowing, like, so give you an example, like he throws something, he hit me in the face or something. And what the hell is you doing? Stop doing that shit. And I'm like super frustrated at the time. Then I calm down and then I say, hey, like, I'm sorry I yelled at you. So this goes back into the patience. This grows into the understanding. Like, I know you didn't mean to, but just understand, I don't want you to do that because X, Y, and Z. So although he is doing something wrong, we also have to display some type of humility about ourselves to showcase, hey, you have to meet your kid where they're at.
Yeah.
You're thinking like you're 35 years old, buddy. He's a kid. He's going to do these things.
And maybe he's just trying to play.
Yeah. And this is probably how he showed his intimacy with you.
Right.
Also understand everybody's love language, everybody, how they display their love and care is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
How can you like have some balance with what you're used to versus how somebody else shows their type of empathy or love or compassion?
Right.
So that's what I love about being a parent, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What are some of the biggest struggles that you've had as a parent?
So right now, me and his mom is not together.
Yep.
And when we split, when we broke up, it was probably the toughest time for me, man. It was so dark because I was depressed, very depressed. I'm used to seeing him every day. Now I see him once every couple of weeks based on the schedules. And it's the hardest thing in the world to decipher, like, damn, how am I going to see him play sports?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to see his plays, church, et cetera, et cetera? I'm not there every day. Do I talk to him every day? Yes. But nothing is like a physical touch, a holiday. You know what I mean? So having to share from a distance, knowing I want you in my presence, every single day is the toughest battle in the world, man.
Yeah.
So I beat myself up a lot because I hold myself with so much regard to what I seen for myself. I wanted to have all my children by one woman. I wanted to be married. I wanted this perfect picture of life that I created for myself. But everything don't always work how you think it should work, right?
Right.
We can do the blame game all day, but it's things I did wrong. It's things she may have did wrong. But all I'm saying is those approaches hurt me the most because it's what I seen and that I wanted for us. So as a dad, I'm kind of missing out on a lot of things that I want to see on a daily basis.
Yeah. That's definitely a struggle in our world today, man. I have 2 children that, I split custody with, and that's always a struggle. And when it comes to co-parenting, that's really hard because now once you have a child living in one place and another place, they can get away with some things over here and not some things over here, right? Mm-hmm. And they kind of know how to figure you all out.
Yeah, for sure.
I know what I can get away with my mom. Might not be able to get away with that with my dad. So they kind of try to figure you out that way, and it's kind of like, man, that's just really hard. But how old is your son?
He's 4.
Yeah, yeah. So you're in like that's like the best. Those are some of the best years. You met Jamie inside. He's 5. He's starting to come out of the like infancy phase of life, and he's starting to like develop like real emotions, like real anger and stuff like that. It's like, you're not a baby anymore. I just want you to go back 1 year ago. Yeah.
But that's one thing I give her a lot of credit with is so let's just say like he's going through certain things at school. She communicate that with me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Appointment that's coming up. Hey, this what happened. I don't want to leave you out type deal. Or this is what we're working on with at home. It'd be great if you get these same books or something similar because this is how he's going to grow. This is how he's going. So understanding that we're communicating this way, it helps us still have some type of compassion in regard to what we need to share with our son. So
yeah,
I love that aspect about co-parenting, trying to do the best for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really good. That's where communication is key in co-parenting. Yeah, I cannot emphasize that enough. Yeah, you guys are on the same team. Yeah. You know what I mean? That you're not competing against each other. You are on the same team trying to raise that child the right way.
For sure.
So, yeah. Well, what advice would you give the next dad who might be going through some of the things that you have gone through in your life?
Like we shared earlier, just give yourself some grace, man. Just understand that things never going to be perfect. You may want a specific life that you seen for yourself growing up as a kid, but you just have to understand that, you got this. Things will get better with time. It's never going to be perfect, but they will get better. You just have to believe they will be and understand that your pitfalls are sometimes your biggest blessings at the same time. So that's the advice I would give dads.
Oh, man. There was one, I got to read this to you. Sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually you've been planted. Yeah.
And that's a hit on the head. So we don't appreciate, what they say, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
You don't see it for what it's worth when you're going through it because why me? Why me?
Yeah.
But sometimes those things that went left was the better picture for you to go right. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that I may want it to be an NBA superstar. That wasn't in God's plan, man. So you want to tell God your plans, man? Haha, psych.
Yeah, men plan, God laughs. That's it.
Like, so you got to understand, man, this is all part of the process of your growth, man.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things that have happened in my life where this is before I got baptized, before I, fully embraced my heart for Jesus and God. And there was times where I would sit there and I would go, why is this happening to me? Why was I made this way? Why have I been through these things? And I mean, there's a picture behind you right now, man. That's, and that's where we get when we think like that, is we get stuck in the mud. We're cold, we're alone, and we don't know God's warmth. And sometimes we just need to remember to turn around and ask him to help us, and remember that he's got a plan for us.
Yes.
Because you can't have a message without a mess. You know what I mean?
Woo. Oh. Woo. Woo.
Yeah. So, or there's, how else would I say that? There's no testimony without a test.
Sure.
So,
For sure, man.
you kind of got to go through the fire in order to become who God wants you to be.
But do you think like that's where you find your why, your purpose, when you do have the test or the mess?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good one. I'll share this with you. My son sent this to me a while after I'd gotten sober, and it meant so much to me because he saw like the worst parts of me, and he said, "Dad, this reminded me of you." And it goes like this. It says, imagine you're talking to God about the person that you want to become. And you say, God, I want to be courageous. And God replies, then I will give you monsters to terrify you so that you can conquer them. And then you say, God, I want to be patient. And God replies, then I will make you work harder and longer so that you can learn to wait. And then you say, God, I want to be wise. And God replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so that you can learn the value of judgment. And then you say, God, that sounds like a hard life. Can you give me a good life? And of course, God replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer that it took to make you. A good life isn't always a life that's easy. A good life makes you into a good person. And that, my child, is a hard life. So to get that from my son was like, it made me feel a certain kind of way that he saw me as somebody who had gone through some stuff and come through the other side. And two, we often forget that, you can pray for blessings, but oftentimes it doesn't come in the form of a direct blessing, right? It comes in the form of an opportunity to receive that blessing. You want to be a good husband? I'm going to give you some tests, right? You want to get sober? Okay, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of opportunities to get drunk, and you're going to have to say no to it, right? You want to get through, you want to be happy? Okay, I'm going to give you a bunch of stuff to be sad about, but you're going to have to find the silver lining. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's one of those things that it just did something to me when I read that, because we just forget, and you have to remember to turn around and pray about it.
For sure, man.
So
that's super deep. But that's why, like when it comes to like all the merchandise that I do create, it's all centered around, yes, you chasing your passion, your purpose, or whatever it is that you want, but it's also about our mental health.
Yeah.
Right. So like me creating, I'm on my healing journey.
I love that one, by the way. Like
it helps me understand, like, I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to have everything figured out, but I'm doing the work though. Because I'm doing the work, I know I'm getting better slowly, but steadily with time. If I'm not willing to do the work, Nick, I'm never going to be the best version of myself.
Right.
Because I'm trying to play what they call it. I'm trying to be the guy that wants everybody to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me if I'm not trying to get better.
Right.
Right? This does nothing for you. So if we're on our healing journey and we really taking it serious, if it's certain things that you know that you're a part of or doing, and it's stopping you from you growing to where you say you want to get to, not what I want for you, but what you want for yourself, it's never going to go exactly how you plan. So I always just say, man, Just try new coping skills. I love music. I love writing. I love sports. I love running. So these are my coping skills. And it helps me understand, okay, Marcus, maybe you need to start looking at things this way. Maybe you need to plan and strategize this way. Hey, you've been around people a little bit too much. You need to take a little bit more time with yourself. Because if you're not taking time with yourself, how do you know who you are? Because you're trying to live a life based on other people's likes and their specialties.
Square peg, round hole, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man. So those are things that excites me, man. Like when you're telling me your story, somebody telling me their story and how they're trying to get out of it, this what makes what we do impactful.
Yeah.
Somebody sparked something within me. Like I'm at the schools, I'm at Lincoln Elementary, and kids love seeing my merchandise, not only from myself, but other people wearing them. Hey, how do you do t-shirts? Oh, I need to create a group. My principal like, hey, what do you guys be doing in there? And I give them the curriculum. This is what we do. This is why we do it. But it ties in regard to their behavior. Yeah. It ties in regard to them wanting to have fun in school. Because if they're not having fun, they don't want to do anything. But this is how we're going to create entrepreneurs for the new world.
Yeah.
Life is not just about structure.
No.
I have to love what I'm doing to continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If we don't create this balance to give me a reason why I need to be at school, I'm not going to want to behave. So you create curriculum around things that's affecting the school, but look into the eyes of that kid. I watch the kid and we just playing. Every day he comes in my room, he wants to play with the Legos. Oh, shit. Now, I'm not saying he's going to grow to be an architect.
Might be.
But he's creative.
Yes.
He's doing things on his own.
You understand what his strengths are.
But I'm tapping into it.
Play into that.
Yes.
Now Legos, but let's go with mag tiles now. You know what I mean? Let's give him more stuff to build.
So I understand we have instructional time with all these subjects. Hey, come lunchtime, come in my room. Recess, come in my room. Can I draw you a picture? Man, you're a good artist. You want to create something for my door? Now I have showed the kid that your creativity
has value,
means something.
Yeah.
If you showcasing these things, these kids start to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
But you have to show them something for them to believe that.
Yeah.
Because everybody at school, to be honest with you, we're demeaning it. A kid could be drawing on the desk. You don't supposed to be doing that. But I come in, I said,
here's a piece of paper.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that. However, here go a paper.
Yeah.
Hey, draw that again for me. Hey, I'm gonna display this on this app, and then you can see your own character, and you could come to life. And they like, really? You can do that? And I'm like, yeah. But that lets the kid know, like you care more on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Right. And it's some adults don't understand that by meeting them where they at, that gives them a chance to be inspired about something.
Come on.
It gives them a chance
Let's
to be
go.
inspired about something. So the little time where, hey, Mr. Norris, can we create a handshake? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? We do a handshake. Now they all lined up at my door before I get there in the morning. I'm taking the time. You have to take time with the kid to, yes, show them a little tough love, but show them that I actually care about what you care about as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, you got anything for that was really good. That was really good. Do you have anything else for the listeners? Because I do want you to tell us where we can find your clothing.
Okay. So you can find some of my merch at realitycheckmovement.shop. It has all different type of merchandise on there, from varsity jackets to crew necks to hoodies. And I would love for you to join the movement. You can read my story on there and kind of understand the trajectory in regards to what we do here at Reality Check Movement.
Yeah. Yeah. So realitycheckmovement.shop.
Yes.
Awesome. And they can find you on Facebook too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's a bunch of pictures of inventory and things like that they've got in stock. I know that you guys have got some stuff that you're moving through right now. And then, So, and then can they reach out to you, DM you? Is that a way to do it as well?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Cool. Well, Marcus Smooth Norris, thank you so much for joining me on the Domestic Dad podcast. This was cool, man. I really appreciated your company, you sharing your story with me and all the listeners. And my hope is that this will create some inspiration for other people to join us in what we're doing.
Appreciate the opportunity, man.
Yeah, cool. All right.